Hi there. We
Hi.
are live. It's July.
This year is flying by. Yeah, just flying. Yeah.
Uh,
Yep.
July.
But I love it. I love July in my hometown in Oregon. It's a great time of year to be here. So, yeah.
Well, welcome everybody. My name is Tricia Broderick.
I'm Diana Larsen. You can
And
tell us apart. Trisha is the one with hair.
although I gotta tell you, I'm my it's not as thick as it once used to be either. So I'm right there with you. I'm headed in that same thing. I love it.
Yeah.
Although I want a period where I love this look on you, by the way, too. Like I just it's so empowering. It's so wonderful. But I do want a period where I've always had dark hair. So I want a period where I can go like super hot pink or something, right? Like before. So I need one more transition phase of like with this, and then I want to go in that same direction, right?
Yeah.
Like this is just a pain. It's just a pain. And also you gotta be so much cooler. Are you just cooler all the time?
Well, yes. And I have upped my hat game quite a bit. Because there's all other kinds of, like, being in the sun, you have to be more careful, and it's cooler. And so in some cases that's a benefit. In other cases, when your head is cold, it's uncomfortable. So yeah. So anyway,
new lessons. So you're still learning, always learning, always learning.
Just like with autonomy, everything has its ups and downs.
What a great segue.
Refocus it.
So we co-wrote the book Lead Without Blame, Building Resilient Learning Teams. And once a month, we come back together for an unscripted discussion on a topic that builds off a topic that's in the book in different ways. Sometimes we go a little bit deeper on something that's in the book. Sometimes it's a little tangential, but we never know what's going to come out and what we're going to talk about and also another goal is us just connecting and getting to see each other with things because we miss each other after talking almost every single day for years with it. So today's topic, you alluded to it, but do you want to go a little bit deeper into what today's topic is?
Yeah, we're talking about autonomy, and I've been thinking about it a bit, and the way we had framed it was, good versus bad autonomy. And as I've been thinking about it this morning in particular, I realize autonomy is one of those words that's kind of value free. And it reminds me of how people throw around the word, oh, we want quality, right? Mm-hmm. Well, quality by itself is not a character. Do you want high quality, or are you satisfied with lower quality? I mean, you have to modify it. And autonomy is another one of those words where, people say, oh, we want autonomy. Well, what's the nature of the autonomy you want, and why is it important? And people very often don't ask those questions. And so anyway, I think it's a great topic for us to be talking about today.
100%.
Yeah.
You've already got me thinking about that dynamic of it, and it's changing a little bit of some of what I was thinking about, because there is an element that, let's start off a little bit with the, piggybacking off what you're highlighting, right? Is like a lot of times we approach autonomy trying to solve something else without actually talking about that other thing, right? Like there's a power dynamic that we talked about in our book, or things that it's what I call the, if I was a boss bias. That bias doesn't actually exist. I just made it up. But I genuinely believe there's if I was the boss bias, if I had full autonomy, if I had full control, everything would be perfect.
Right.
But if you're not actually addressing the thing that you're talking about, or the deeper root issue, autonomy may help you, and it may actually make it worse, right? And even getting that control might not actually solve the problem that you're trying to solve. And so that's an interesting lens. I never really thought about it in that way. Like I thought about it in terms of kind of good and bad, but there truly is this dynamic of what are you really trying to solve with autonomy so that it actually serves and is helpful, is valuable,
Right.
it's actually delivers
Right.
and has the
Right.
benefits it's shooting for.
Right. And particularly for leadership, there's some really interesting twists to it. I mean, the self-determination theory people talk about autonomous leaders, the people, autonomy supporting leaders, and how when we have teams autonomous or teams with autonomy teams, they need a different kind of leadership. And that's a lot of what we are talking about in Lead Without Blame, is we're kind of characterizing that kind of autonomy supporting leadership for the teams so that they can find their own strength and resilience and move in the directions they know are going to be best. But I also think about early in the Agile movement, there was this whole "we don't need no stinking managers" kind of thing, right? And
not just early, I think that still continued on for a long time.
It may have continued for quite a while, but as early as 2004, Esther and I wrote an article about, and we titled it "You're Still Needed," because we were talking to a lot of middle managers and frontline managers who were saying, well, but the teams say they don't need us at all. They, and I'm like, well, who's going to go to the safety meetings? Any team member wanted to go do that? Tell me about your responsibilities. How many of those things do you think the team members want to do? And going to the teams, do you really know what your manager is doing for you? If you've got a good manager, they are providing you a lot of benefit and allowing you the space to do the work you love to do.
Yeah.
And so it's, how you think about what the nature of the autonomy is really important. And it's not just, oh, we don't ever have to answer to anybody, because then you don't get the information you need. You miss out on as a team on a lot of what's important. And same thing for individuals. No man is an island, as the saying goes, right? You don't get that full autonomy of having your own island and doing whatever the heck you want. You're still dependent on other folks. And so, we talk about purpose, autonomy, and co-intelligence in our book as being essential motivators. But you really have to think about, what does that autonomy mean in our circumstance, in this context? Let's really define. It's not enough to just have team identity. There's a lot more that goes along with that. And it is linked to whatever your purpose is and how well you're doing with your co-intelligence, the support, autonomy supporting co-intelligence. So there's a lot to dive into there.
Well, there's what I see, unfortunately, too often is things like, well, we're supposed to let the team make all the decisions, so go. But then the team's like, I don't have all the knowledge. I don't have all the skills right now. I don't have the context. And it ends up feeling like you didn't actually increase their autonomy. You aimed a bus at them, right? Like there's this dynamic of to actually achieve autonomy, to have a sense of control and ability to be controlled and be effective. Like that's the part of it. It isn't just, I want to make whatever decisions I make. I don't care what what the results are. It's no, we want good results. And so like, if the team doesn't have all the knowledge they need, all the context they need, the whys behind it, all the abilities, then saying you own it, you're accountable is kind of setting people up for failure. That's not helping anybody in that, right? And so for me, there's a lot of like, when I think of autonomy, I think of it in terms of leveling up, right? Like I want to increase what you're being challenged by, what you're taking ownership of, what you're doing, but I want to do it intentionally as a leader, right? Like to where maybe it's not something that it's still pushing you out of your comfort zone, but it is in a way that is being supported, right? Autonomy doesn't mean I, as a leader, just get to walk away and go, not my problem. If your team is failing, it's still your problem.
It's still your problem. Yeah.
In a different kind of way, right? Because you can't just then come in and go, ooh, well, I'm going to veto it, because now there's a whole different dynamic that you've created that's going to really set you back on your ability to increase autonomy in the team every time you veto. So it is, as Anu was highlighting, it can be really complex. And I've watched good intentions trying to take shortcuts with it.
Right. Well, and I've been working since the early 90s, really, with organizations who were setting up team-based work structures, where they were moving from having all individual contributors to much more team-based way of getting their work done, and more collaborative teams and so on. And a pattern that I saw over and over and over again, and both this pattern, there's two versions of it, and they both fall into the bad autonomy category, where the leader says, oh, well, they've decided they want to be, depending on the decade, self-managing, self-directing, self-organizing, autonomous. They all mean the same thing, right? But the idea being, oh, well, they're self-managing, they don't need me anymore, and completely abdicating any role on the team, where the team, like you point out, the team is going to need help, and that is going to come as they learn, they might need less of you, but it doesn't mean they're not going to need anything from you right from the get-go. Your job as a leader, right, or your job as a leader is to make sure they're getting exactly what they need when they need it, no sooner, no later. And that's a big job. The other pattern that I'd see is the first time the team, self-managing, self-directing, or whatever, team decided to make a decision, the managers freak out and clamp down. They start micromanaging. Oh, no, we can't let them go that way. And it's like, whether you're abdicating or whether you're clamping down, neither of those is a good look for leadership. Which is why I love the research that's been in the self-determination theory, leadership, autonomy supporting arena that's going on right now, because it's so important to think about it depends, it always depends, right? And so for leaders if the team is saying, oh, we don't need you at all, go away, don't go away.
Not a good sign.
That's not good support. But you're maybe going to have some conversations about, well, I don't want to get involved in the things that you think I'm getting in the way, but let's sit down and talk about what help I can give you and when you want that, and so on. And so you can support them in a good way like that, and not be surprised by some decision that they make that freaks you out and tips you back into that kind of controlling, dominant leadership style that everybody hates. Frankly, there's nobody who likes that style. Just,
people who do it sometimes.
Your style, and nobody has told you.
I know it's not good, right? So we've given signals for bad. Let's give a couple signals for good, right? One of my signals that good autonomy is happening with things is that people feel a sense of like reward and accomplishment. Like they get a check mark. They get that and whether and this is the interesting thing. They didn't even need complete and full autonomy, right? They didn't even need nobody else, because truthfully, even in a team, it's hard to feel like you're in complete and utter your little zone, right? And so but there's this sense of we did that, right? Like when you get to that end, that check mark, and people are going, yeah, we did that. Then there's a sense of autonomy in there, right? Like there's a sense of belonging in there. There's a sense of engagement in that they have, that they, feel the results of it. They feel the results of what that's going to mean and how that plays into things. So that's a signal for me is like when you're getting that deliverable, how much are people celebrating it, right? Is it just you as the leader celebrating it, or is everybody celebrating it, right? And what that looks like.
Who's getting the pats on the back, right.
Well,
Yeah,
and are
right.
you patting yourself on the back, right? Like, because if you have a
Right.
sense of autonomy, you feel that, right, across the board. So
Right.
that's a big signal for me, is like when we get a win, who feels the win, right? Because then
Right.
there's some
Right.
autonomy, ownership in there with me. What's the signal for
Right.
you for good?
Well, you know, I rely very much on, and I always go back to our 4 C's model, our 4 C's of leadership behavior. And so an indicator for me is whoever is in a leadership role that's helping an autonomous team is stepping up, and the team knows and will say that they step up for us. They make sure that they keep everybody else off our back. They, you know, they are courageous about when we need to learn a thing. They give us the space to do that. I mean, you can, you know, when you hear, I love Clifford Geertz, who's a American anthropologist, blah, 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 says culture is the stories we tell ourselves about ourselves. And so I very often will focus in on what stories is this team telling about itself and its environment, and which includes the leadership, right? And what stories are they telling? And are they telling stories of feeling supported, like you're talking about? Are they telling stories about, you know, one of the things they just learned as a team, when we think about those, how clear they are about their purpose and what they are contributing to the business direction of the organization. So those essential motivators, right? Those are the kinds of things those are the stories that I really want to hear. And if I'm not hearing those stories, that tells me something about where to look. Where could some behavioral adjustments be made? Where could some coaching be valuable, or so on? Because if I'm not hearing those stories from the team about how they're supporting each other and how they're feeling supported by the people in their organization around them, that's a red flag for me. If we've got to fight tooth and nail to get every little bit of deliverable done, that's not good, right? And that tells you where to look for other indicators, for sure.
You said a word in there too that's really key. It's like that they're being proactive, that the initiative, right? Like they're the
Right.
ones signing up for things. They're the ones exploring. They're figuring out additional risks. They're not waiting, right? And
Right.
they're really, they feel that sense of ownership. That's when you know the
Yeah.
autonomy is in a good
Yeah.
state, right?
Right.
With things.
Right. Absolutely. Yeah.
So we are at time already. I
Oh,
like,
wow. Oh, wow. Yeah.
where can people find you?
Well, if you're in Portland, Oregon, in another week or so, on July 23rd, I'm going to be doing a fireside chat for our local meetup group.
Nice.
Another place that you can find me is at my website, dianalarsen.com/thrive, where you can learn about a new program that I'm offering called Thrive in Turbulent Times. That is for leaders. And there's a button there that says book a call, and we can have a conversation. It turns out a lot of the conversations I have don't end up centering on whether or not somebody wants to come to the program, but I just end up having another conversation with them, which is also cool. So book a call stands for anything, not just for learning about the program. But so I'm doing that. And then I've got some kind of fun things happening in the fall. I'm going to get together with a whole group of friends right at the end of August and into September, of friends and colleagues. And I know I'm going to learn a lot from that. And I've got something called the Consultants Retreat and Network that I'm a co-organizer of. That's the last week of October this year. So I'm gonna be out and about doing a number of things, and looking forward to seeing a lot of my friends and colleagues. Yeah.
I was pretty quiet the first half of the year because we have some big announcements happening with X2A this next week. So I'm super excited about that. but my schedule is going to pick up in the second half of the year. So there are actually more opportunities to see me out in the wild. I'll be at Agile 2026 at the end of this month. I will be at Star West in California in September. I will be keynoting Tech Connect in New York in October. So one a month as we're going forward. So November, I'm open. If anybody needs anything in November, let me know. And then I have 2 public offerings. Again, I had no public trainings offerings in the first half of the year, but I have 2 coming up. I have one that is about a 2-day virtual for really helping people improve their training, whether it's an internal training or it's external training, but just improving their ability to really make training stick and last instead of reading at people in the fire hose. And then the other one is a product-centric offering, vision to value, where it's lovely to meet customers' needs. It's a different thing to delight customers, and what really comes into helping get creative at the beginning when you're thinking of your product and services on delight and what resonance of something that causes that word of mouth and that thrive for it. And so Vision to Value is going to be an offering that is done remotely in September for the first time. So that is different ways to reach me. You can contact me directly or on LinkedIn. You can message me, and I can get you additional information if you're interested in any of those.
Yeah. Lots of cool stuff coming up. Yeah.
I know. I feel like the second half of this year is going to go by just as fast as the first half of this year. But stay tuned. I will be actually going live again next week and socials and things getting posted. So I'm excited for next week. Really excited for it. And we will be back. Yeah, we will be back on August 14th for next month, and with a new topic. And again, if there's a topic you want us to explore and maybe rant a little, that's more me than Diana style, but just let us know. We're happy to consider it and get it into the rotation. But otherwise,
and we'll be same time of day, same channel, right? Yeah.
Yep. August 14th.
You'll find us on August 14th, right?
And thank you for participating and engaging, and we'll see you next time.